Good morning and welcome back to our webinar series of Literacy Unlocked. Welcome to webinar number 6. Now, Humpty is very excited today because he's able to join us because it's about rhyme. And Humpty is the mascot for Sounds and Symbols because he's the link between language, rhymes and music. So he's very happy and he wants to demonstrate his rhyme later on. So do you have pen and paper? You might need to write notes. I'll also draw your attention to any slides that you might want to take a photograph of because there are lists of activities rather than having to go through it again. But I'll let you know at the time. Okay. So a quick recap of what we've done previously. Facilitators for learning, I'm sure you know them now. Build on prior knowledge and prior skills. Make sure that activities are relevant for children and make sure they're motivational and fun. And then, of course, we have all our indicators for good literacy. And at the moment, we are here on phonological awareness, awareness of the sounds within words. And today we're looking at rhymes. So we've looked at cognitive skills. Please as well, when we're doing these activities, please think how these link to previous skills that we've mentioned. They all actually link together. Prosodic awareness, which we mentioned, and language skills, which we've done. And then last week we looked at syllables. And of course, we're still considering these questions. How do we learn to read? By bringing together all these skills. And how are we taught? Well, generally, we start here with phonics. So think about what children need to have before they get to hear. I keep repeating this each week. I hope it's getting through. And what is reading? So think about the fact that we need language skills for reading and writing. It's another form of communication. We need to put comprehension into the words that we're reading. It's not just a decoding skill. Children who just literally decode the word in front of them tell you what it is. It's called barking at print. And that's not what we're looking for. We want children to enjoy what they're reading and to understand what they're reading and to be able to write. So today we're going to look at phonological awareness again. I hope that you can now say what it is under 3 levels. Define a rhyme and a rhyme, 2 different spellings. Identify some research that says we should be doing rhyme with children because it helps literacy. Explain how the ability to rhyme can help literacy, and lots of activities. So phonological awareness again is phono, sound, logo, spoken word. So the sounds within spoken words, 3 levels, syllables, syllable, and then rhymes, which is the subject for today. Onset and rhyme. The onset is the beginning sounds before the vowels, A, E, I, O, U. So in this syllable, which is a 1-syllable word, we have the sound, and the rhyme, R-I-M-E, is at. The reason this is called a rhyme here is because it is part of a syllable. Okay, it doesn't mean something is rhyming. It does rhyme, but it's the word we use to describe this last part of a syllable that contains the vowel sound and the subsequent consonants. Then phonemes, which is the topic for next week, smallest units of sound within our spoken language. So what is a rhyme? So a rhyme is part of a syllable. It's the name we give to a part of a syllable. So we can divide a syllable. There are different ways we mentioned last week, but this is one way. We'll look at another way next week. One way we can divide a syllable is into the onset and rhyme. So the onset is the first consonant, or it could be 2 or 3 consonants, could be sp, spr, that are before the vowel. And then the rhyme consists of the vowel and the subsequent consonants after that. So it could be more than 1 consonant, could be ang, or ing, for example. So a rhyme can be divided into its nucleus, which is the vowel, and the following consonants, which are called coda. Coda means tail. It's an Italian word, it's probably come from Latin, meaning the end of the tail. Okay. So this is a different rhyme to a nursery rhyme. So what is a rhyme? R-H-Y-M-E. It's not part of a syllable. So a rhyme is the name we give to a short poem, usually for children, often for children, where the ends of the lines rhyme with the sounds, usually the end syllable, of another line in the rhyme or the poem. So what is meant by to rhyme? If we want something to rhyme, it means that the end sounds sound the same. So examples can be so, go, cat, mat, sat, last, fast, cast, might, sight, flight. So it's nothing to do with the amount of letters or anything, it's the sound, okay, at the end of a word. It's the ends of this syllable that actually match. So we have conflicting evidence here that I'm showing you about rhymes. This one says it's in favour of rhymes. If a child knows 8 nursery rhymes by the time they are 4 years old, they are usually amongst the best readers and spellers by the time they are 8. So, if all children learnt 8 nursery rhymes, would that mean that they could read and write? No. This is the point of this lady here, Dr. Marnie Ginsberg. She says rhyming doesn't help much with reading. I don't agree with that statement, but it doesn't, it's fun to do, but it doesn't directly lead to rapidly being able to read. This is true. So you can recite rhymes and not be able to read. You can read and write and not be able to tap syllables or match rhymes. So both these are true. However, this first bit doesn't help much with reading. I don't agree with, because reading is about deciphering the words in front of you by sound. You have to decode the symbols, the letters, into sounds. So you have to have an awareness of sound, and rhyming is one way of focusing a child's awareness of sounds. So here's a little bit more evidence in favour of rhyming. Usha Goswami, who I've mentioned to you before, in 1997 she wrote an article called Rhyme and Analogy: How Children Match Sound Patterns to Written Patterns and How Important It Is to Literacy. Today she's writing about dyslexia. She spent most of her life trying to help children who struggle with literacy and trying to work out the problems and what can be done about it. So she's done a lot of work with children who are dyslexic. I'll come on to that on the next slide. Also, there's Corriveau and others here. They also say that rhyming is a major stage of phonological awareness prior to reading exposure. You need to be able to have an awareness of these sounds before you start learning to read. So both these say if children can attend to sounds before formal literacy starts, then they will be better equipped to start learning to read and write. And this is what I keep saying all the time. I agree with them completely. Rhymers are readers, so a little bit more evidence. If you Google rhymers are readers, you will find there's lots of information from different sources under that heading. So one of them is Nobleville's Schools, and they say, well, rhyming helps language skills, helps cognitive skills, physical skills, social and emotional development. These are the things that we have been saying. If you look at the diagram here, these arrows, looks a bit chaotic, but what it's showing is that phonological awareness and rhyme syllables and phonemes actually are linked to every other item on this diagram. So if you can do rhymes, then think about the cognitive skills that are involved. So do they help comprehension, understanding of something that's happening? Yes. Do they help to focus a child's attention? Yes. Do they help to teach about sequencing, putting things in order and what might happen? Yes. Do they help children with automaticity and fluency? Yes, because you've got the rhyme. Oh, sorry, the rhythm and the rhyme. Overexcited with my mouse there. You've got the rhythm and the rhyme helping to propel a child along with their speech. And the rhythm and the rhyme help to embed the language. And then memory, of course, as we're doing rhymes, then children are helped to remember the sounds in the words and remember rhyming endings, for example. Also, of course, they help with language skills, vocabulary, building vocabulary, knowing which order to put your words in. Also with motor skills, we use the fact that you do actions with rhymes help to embed the language and the rhythm, of course. And music helps too. And so we've got a little link here. We've got two links here, two arrows, one to the music here and one here. So other things in favour of rhyming: helps vocabulary, understanding, sequence, creativity, helping children start thinking about these rhymes and might act them out and dress up and be the characters in the rhymes. So it can stimulate imagination, help visualization, trying to bring pictures of things into your mind, sequencing, offers repetitive language practice. You don't make children say things over and over again to practice getting them right, but in rhymes and songs you can, because it's fun. The vocabulary we've mentioned, an introduction to poetry. Poetry, remember, is something that we do all the way through our lives. It's not a childish thing. We play with sounds and words and songs lifelong and enjoy them. Promote awareness of rhythm, and we've looked at how important that is, and prosodic awareness and the stress that you put on different syllables. So instead of saying syllable, what if you said syllable? It doesn't sound quite right, it's not quite the same. Offers alliterative practice. Alliteration is using the beginning of a word, the sounds at the beginning of a word, and repeating them, like 5 fat peas in a pea pod pressed, or Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled pepper. We use them for fun. We use rhymes and alliteration for fun all the time, even as adults. This is a little slide that I mentioned with Usha Goswami and her information and research about literacy. She's actually now claiming rhyme can help children with dyslexia. Children can overcome dyslexia by learning nursery rhymes, dancing and singing, because the condition is caused by lack of rhythm in the brain. So as I said earlier, if you can do these activities with children before they start learning to read, you are just giving them such a fantastic foundation, and it's this foundation that we should be building before we go straight to letters. So how do children learn to rhyme? Well, same way as everything else, through experience, through listening, through engaging, repetition, exposure, movement, practice, doing it. If you're going to learn to rhyme, you have to say rhymes and listen to rhymes, participate in rhymes, clap out rhymes. Here's an example of some little rhyming phrases here. I used these with some children last year, and they were written on a classroom door. It's slightly different to these ones. We had toodaloo, kangaroo, sorts of different ones, blow a kiss, Mr. Fish. And so each child took one of them and memorized it. They couldn't read and write, so they just had to remember. And then every time they left the room, they had to say the little phrase. So they all remembered their little phrases. And of course, this is embedding rhyme, and it's just fun. So, see you later, alligator. In a while, crocodile. Toodaloo, kangaroo. Blow a kiss, Mr. Fish. What have we got? Take care, black bear. It's good practice for speaking as well. Bye for now, brown cow. We had bye bye, butterfly. This one's got dragonfly. Now I'm going to go away for a minute, as I do, and I'm going to ask you, can you remember and name these rhymes? See which ones you can remember. There's a little clue on this one because I struggle with if I just get the first word, I'm okay, I'm away, but I forget the first word. See if you can write them down. I'll go away for a minute. See you in a moment. Okay, did you get them? So the first one I remember here, rings on her fingers and bells on her toes, and I forget the beginning. So this is ride a cock horse to Banbury Cross to see a fine lady upon a white horse. Rings on her fingers and bells on her toes, she shall have music wherever she goes. So horse and cross, do they quite rhyme? Well, if you were sort of from the posh part of England, you might say horse and cross. Or if you're from Yorkshire, like me, you might say cross and os. So remember, a lot of these rhymes have come from a long time ago, and they probably did rhyme then. They don't quite rhyme quite so well these days, but they're close. This one here is Little Miss Muffet sat on a tuffet, eating her curds and whey. Along came a spider and sat down beside her and frightened Miss Muffet away. Look at the prosody you've got in there as well. This one is, I had a little nut tree, nothing did it bear, but a golden nutmeg, silver nutmeg, sorry, and a golden pear. The King of Spain's daughter came to visit me, and all was because of my little nut tree. I'll say again. I had a little nut tree, nothing would it bear, but a silver nutmeg and a golden pear. The King of Spain's daughter came to visit me, and all was because of my little nut tree. This one, The Three Bears. It's the story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears. I don't know if you know the song. I'll sing the first verse. It goes like this. When Goldilocks went to the house of the bears, oh, what did her blue eye see? A bowl that was huge, a bowl that was small, and a bowl that was tiny, and that was all. She counted them 1, 2, 3, and then you do the same with the chair, and the same with the bed. And then the last verse. When Goldilocks went to the house of the bears, oh, what did her blue eye see? A bear that was huge, and a bear that was small, and a bear that was tiny, and that was all. And they roared at her, roar, roar, roar. 3 little bears. This one, Old King Cole. Lost my mouse somewhere. Old King Cole was a merry old soul, and a merry old soul was he. He called for his pipe, and he called for his bowl, and he called for his fiddlers 3. And it goes on, there's more to that, you can look that up. And then this final one, it's all nonsense, it's a complete nonsense rhyme. There's a cat playing a fiddle. A fiddle is another word for a violin. It's the same instrument, but it plays a different style. Well, you play on it, the person playing it. It plays a different style of music, okay? So fiddle music and violin music, different types of music. The instrument is the same thing. Hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle. Does a cat play a fiddle? No, it's all nonsense. The cat and the fiddle. The cow jumped over the moon. The little dog laughed to see such fun, and the dish ran away with the spoon. What nonsense! But of course it's good fun, and it's all rhyming. Okay, did you like those rhymes? Next. Now then, I did this in a school. We had a little rhyme corner. So set up a rhyme corner for yourselves. What great fun. This little boy here has got sand and hand, stick and brick, hair and bear, phone and stone. If you do these with second language speaking children, in fact, it's probably a good idea with first language, native English speakers, make sure that they know the names, or the same names that you're giving them anyway, of all the items, so that they're matching the sounds. If they call something a different name, it's not going to match. So here we have hand, sand, hen, so it could be cockerel, hen, pen, brick, stick, so it could be a block. So make sure that you're using the same words. Hair, bear, sandal, so I might say shoe, and we want sandal. Sandal, candle. On here we've got sandal, candle, and handle. The children I was working with here, they were second language learners, and when I asked what this was, they said socks. So be careful that they know the difference between one sock, two socks, sock and clock. Also, they didn't call this a clock, they just said time. They didn't know the word for clock. So it's an exercise in vocabulary as well. We've got jug, mug, bug, soap, this was little soap, soap, rope. Here we've got tire and wire. Anything else? No, I think we've got all of those on there. So these are very easy. So go around your house. I shall show you, I'll share with you what I've got here. So we've got bear, hair. Go around your house, see what you can find. Shoe, number 2. Bell, you might have a better bell than me. Bell and shell. Duck and book. It doesn't matter that the spellings are different. What else have I got? Mug and bug. While I'm showing you these, I shall show you the next things so that I'm not backwards and forwards. I've got these little cards from Twinkle. You can just print them out. And what happens is, again, you have to say, is this a truck? Is it a car? Is it a Jeep? We have to know it's a Jeep so that it rhymes with these things. So we've got a Jeep, a cat, a bucket or a pail, and a sheep. So which one? So you get a peg. You can put these out as centres for children. Just put them on a table. Make sure that you know what they all are. And then the children attach pegs to the one that matches. Oopsie daisy. So we've got pear, iron, bear, plane. Bear, pear. Pen, 10, boat, crab. Oh, pen, 10. Cake, banana, snake, bone. Snake, cake. Bag, tag, apron, unicorn. Bag, tag. Snail, whale, soap, cup. Snail, whale. Again, it's sound we're listening for, it doesn't matter about the spelling. Hat, bat, glue, mat, could be mat or rug. If you do mat, you'll need 2 pegs. Bat, mat, hat. Okay, that's on Twinkle. It's in a list I shall show you later on. Put that back for you. Back to the PowerPoint. Okay, We have more examples now. So you might want your phone or your camera and just take a picture of this slide because it's got lots of ideas on it. Also, if you've got running through the whole video again. So this one is a lovely little limerick. A limerick usually starts, there was a something from something, and they're rhymes and they're fun. There was an old man with a beard who said, it is much as I feared, 2 owls and a hen, 4 larks and a wren have all built their nests in my beard. This is quite nice in a classroom by this lady here, Monica Schroeder, I think it says. Be on the floor. So it's for children to get on the floor. So you're saying, come along now, sit on the floor. This is the little rhyme. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Be on the floor when I am done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm done. And are they all on the floor? So you know, use rhyme all the time in your class. We use it again, I keep saying, as adults, we use it. You can do it if you be and cue it. This is dip, 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 or ip, dip, dip, I used to say at school. When you're choosing someone. So every syllable, you point to a person. Ip, dip, dip, my blue ship sails on the water. Again, you're emphasizing syllables. Like a cup and saucer, you can now be it. And then you're choosing a person to be it. So maybe if they're playing hide and seek, then you're choosing the person to start the game. Oranges and lemons. This is about the bells in London. Oranges and lemons, say the bells of St. Clement's. You owe me 5 farthings, say the bells of St. Martin's. When will you pay me, say the bells of Old Bailey. When I grow rich, said the bells of Shoreditch. When will that be, say the bells of Stepney. I do not know, said the great bell of Bow. So it's rhyming and it's a little story saying, you owe me some money. When are you going to pay me? I don't know. When I'm rich. When will you be rich? I don't know. Again, just a bit of fun. Batter cake. This is something that I think mums have done with children forever. Batter cake, baker's man. Bake me a cake as fast as you can. Prick it and pat it and mark it with B and put it in the oven for baby and me. And there you're clapping out the beat. Remember the difference between the beat and the rhythm? Sailor, we did this one. Sailor went to CCC. If you do this with your children, make sure that you teach them maybe the clapping first and then the rhyme and put it together. It's too much to learn the whole thing together, especially if they're second language learners. So you need to go clap right, clap left, clap 1, 2, 3. Have you got that? You can do it with me now in front of the screen. Clap right, clap left, clap 1, 2, 3. Okay, we'll do it with the words. Are you ready? A sailor went to sea, to see what he could see, and all that he could see was the bottom of the deep blue sea, and then see if you can get faster and faster. It's good fun. When Susie was a baby, you have to have a 3 clap. So you put one hand up, one hand down with the other person. When Susie was a baby Susie was, she went wah, wah, wah. And then it goes through her life. So then she's a grown up and she's an old lady and the different things she did. And you can get faster and faster. And Mary Mac, this is one for older children because it's quite difficult and it's quite long. It starts Mary Mac, 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 dressed in black, black, black. You can Google that one. You can see some children doing really, really, really fast clapping rhymes if you look up clapping rhymes on YouTube. Skipping ones again. We did, I had the little motor car number 48. skip down the corner, and then put on the brake. I did that last week. This one, turn the rope. So you have children in a line. Apples, pears, peaches, plums. Tell me when you also jump in when your birthday comes. January, February, March, and then they jump in. Same again, keep going. Apples, pears, peaches, plums. Jump out when your birthday comes. Then they jump out January, February, March, etc. And then another one, they're all in together. So all the children are in the rope together. All in together, girls, never mind the weather, girls. When I count 20, the rope must be empty. 1, 2, 3, so they can choose to stay in and jump till the end, but by the end, they must all be out of the rope. You need quite good skippers for that. Needs a lot of practice. Now then, I'm going to read you a lovely book now, so I shall come back to full screen. Oopsie daisy. It's one of my favourite rhyming stories. It's by Linley Dodd, and it's called Hairy Maclary from Donaldson's Dairy. You have to remember that. You have to repeat it all the way through. Okay, remember. It's about a dog. Lots of other dogs. And they've all got little rhymes to go with them. So as you're reading this to the children, they have to remember the sequence in which the dogs appear, and they have to remember the little rhymes to go with them. And it's easy to remember them because they're rhyming. So you would go through that, but we don't have time to go through all the dogs. Out of the gate and off for a walk went Hairy Maclary from Donaldson's Dairy. Off to a good start here. And Hercules Morse, as big as a, what do you think the word's going to be? Horse. With Hairy Maclary from Donaldson's Dairy. So you're adding one on each time. Here's the next dog. Bottomly pots covered in spots. Hercules Morse, as big as a horse. And Hairy Maclary from Donaldson's Dairy. The rhythm and the rhyme, excellent. Oh, look at this one. Muffin Maclay, like a bundle of hay. Bottomly pots covered in spots. Hercules Morse, big as a horse. And Hairy Maclary from Donaldson's Dairy. Who's next? Bitzer Maloney, all skinny and bony. Muffin Maclay, like a bundle of hay. Bottomly pots, covered in spots. Are you saying this along with me now? I hope so. Hercules Morse, as big as a horse. And Hairy Maclary from Donaldson's Dairy. Oh, look at this tiny one. Schnitzel von Krumm, with a very low tum. His tummy's his tummy, it's near the floor. Bitzer Maloney, all skinny and bony. Muffin Maclay, like a bundle of hay. Bottomly pots, covered in spots. Hercules Morse, as big as a horse. And Hairy Maclary from Donaldson's Dairy. Here they all are. With tails in the air, they trotted on down, past the shops and the park, to the far end of town. They sniffed at the smells and they snooped at each door, when suddenly out of the shadows they saw. What do you think they're going to see? Scarface Claw, the toughest Tom in town. Nice bit of alliteration there. The toughest Tom in town. Said Scarface Claw. Oh. Off with a yowl and a wail and a howl. A scatter of paws and a clatter of claws went Schnitzel von Krumm with a very low bum. Bits of Maloney, all skinny and bony. Muffin McClay like a bundle of hay. Bottomley pots covered in spots. Hercules Morse as big as a horse. And Hairy McClary from Donaldson's Dairy. Where did he go? Straight back home to bed. What a load of scaredy cats. All those dogs scared of one little cat. Hilarious. While I've got these books, I'm going to show you a little bit of Room on the Broom. Julia Donaldson has some fabulous rhyming stories. Obviously the Gruffalo's Child. Here is another one, Room on the Broom. So it's about a witch, and the witch loses a hat, and the witch is on a broomstick. I'll read you a little bit as we don't have too much time for lots. The witch had a cat and a very tall hat and long ginger hair, which she wore in a plait. How the cat purred and how the witch grinned as they sat on their broomstick and flew through the wind. But how the witch wailed and how the cat spat when the wind blew so wildly it blew off the hat. So somebody finds the hat. It's a dog. The dog finds the hat. I am a dog as keen as can be. Is there room on the broom for a dog like me? The witch is kind. Yes, cried the witch, and the dog clambered on. The witch tapped the broomstick, and whoosh, they were gone. I'm not going to spoil the rest of the story. She loses other things, and other animals get on the broom. Fantastic stories. Okay, we'll go back to these other things. I mentioned here rhymes that don't rhyme. When you got older, maybe you don't fuss so much that these rhymes don't rhyme. So if you're from Scotland, there's a lady called Anna Massey. She's a wonderful musician, and she's doing a little series at the moment called the Black Isle Correspondent, because she lives in the Black Isle in Scotland. It's called Black Isle because when everywhere else gets covered in snow, the Black Isle doesn't. It must be warmer than everywhere else. And she sings a little ditty at the beginning of her videos. And she sings, if you're feeling grumpy, you'll find some company here. So she rhymes grumpy with company. It sort of rhymes. So she's completely got rid of the vowel, the A, and she's made the N very quiet. Company. So she's got the P and I sounds being emphasized. So company and grumpy almost rhyme. So we still use in rhyme when we get older. We use it for fun, and we use it in songs. We use it in poetry. And I've got on here expressions that we use when we're older and when young. Good night, sleep tight. We call things a chick flick, make or break. We still like rhyme. Something in us just likes it. I'm going to show you the next slide. And then I'm going to take it off again. So if you want to take a picture of this slide as well, because this is a list of activities, I keep mentioning to you this Florida Reading Research Center, Florida Center for Reading Research. I have lots of activities from them. There are, I don't much like worksheets. They do have some worksheets. You can match. Do a circle, match the rhyming pictures. Again, match rhyming pictures. House, mouse, truck, duck, boat, goat. And they've got little pictures there that you can print off. You can put them out again for children, but again, make sure that they know what these words are. Oops, have you got me? No, you haven't got me. I'll go back to me. Hang on. Did you take your photograph? Knee. Oh, that's not with knee. Look. Knee, oh, knee and B. Hug, mug, shell and bell, nose and rose. You could do these with children, couldn't you? Just telling them what they are and how they rhyme, or getting them to say them and then put them out and get them to match them. Ham, jam, caw, snore. Because if you didn't tell children this, they might just say man, man sleeping, bed. They need to know caw, snore. Sled. We don't always say this in English, we say sledge. Sled, bed, mop, hop, fan, pan, etc. Oh, fox, box, map, cap, etc. You get the idea with those. So it's something you can put out on a table for children to match up with the rhymes. Oh, I got Mousy Brown. Now, Mousy Brown was a little video that I sent you to have a look at. So it goes like this. You need a candlestick. This is your candlestick. Up the tall white candlestick climbed little Mousy Brown. Right to the top, but she couldn't get down. So she called for her grandma. Children have to shout. They love this. Grandma, grandma. But grandma was in town. So she curled into a little ball and tumbled all the way down. See if the children can put them rhyming word. That's called close. It's like a gapped handout when you leave the space and let the children put the word in. Also tumbled, maybe that is a new word in a young child's vocabulary. And then back to our little mouse. Remember I showed you the pattern for this last week, just 2 little pieces. You can make it with paper as well. Here is another little rhyme. Once upon a time, a little mouse lived in a little hole, quietly, quietly, as can be. And then one day, all of a sudden, are you ready? Out popped he. So the children like that because they know it's coming. It's prediction for them. Remember we talked about sequencing and prediction, and they know it's coming, so they get excited and shriek when the mouse comes out. Another little song I've got here. Oh, the banana's back. The banana like this. There's lots of songs with bananas in. Okay, here's this one. I once knew a girl. I think her name was Claire. She used to sleep at night with bananas in her hair. And then the children say, bananas in her hair? Yes, bananas in her hair. How can you sleep at night with bananas in your hair? I once knew a girl. I think her name was Grace. She used to sleep at night with fried egg on her face. Fried egg on her face? Yes, fried egg on her face. How did she sleep at night with fried egg on her face? I once knew a singer. Her name was Britney Spears. She used to sleep at night with ice cream in her ears. Ice cream in her ears? Yes, ice cream in her ears. How did she sleep at night with ice cream in her ears? It's for any Scottish people out there. I once knew a boy. His name was Jock Mackay. He used to sleep at night with donuts on his eyes. Donuts on his eyes? Yes, donuts on his eyes. How can you sleep at night with donuts on your eyes? Last one. I once knew a man. I think his name was John. He used to sleep at night with no pajamas on. No pajamas on. No pajamas on. How can you sleep at night with no pajamas on? And it's just fun for children. They're, shock. Just good fun and rhyming. And children remember it because it's a fun activity to do. Okay, what else do we have? Pictures, worksheets. Oh, rhymes from this book. I've got rhymes from a book. Find yourself a book of rhymes. A book of rhymes, you can't go wrong. So this one, oops, can't find it. This is Three Wise Men of Gotham. I hope you get this, it's quite funny. 3 wise men of Gotham went to sea in a bowl. If the bowl had been stronger, my song would have been longer. Do you get that point? Whether children will get that, I don't know. Maybe you have to point it out. And then we have, this is my favourite one. I eat my peas with honey. I've done it all my life. It makes the peas taste funny, but it sticks them on my knife. I like that one. I think we might have more. I've got another limerick here for you somewhere. Remember there was an old man with a beard? Here's another one. There was an old man from Peru who dreamed he was eating his shoe. He woke with a fright in the middle of the night and found it was perfectly true. Oh, some of these are just funny. So find yourself a book of rhymes, and children just love it. Just read them out like stories. I don't know if you know teddy bear, so you need to stand up really and do this. Teddy bear, turn around. Teddy bear, touch the ground. Teddy bear, stand up now. Teddy bear, take a bow. Teddy bear, walk up the stairs. Teddy bear, say your prayers. Teddy bear, turn out the light. Teddy bear, say good night. That's a nice one to do if you've got a little circle of children. Oh, now we've got one. This is let's see if I can manage to show you this. I'm sure you all know this one, quite a famous one. Oops. If I don't lose my laptop in the process. Can you see these ducks? Can you see the ducks or not? Not really. See the ducks. Okay, maybe I have to hold it. There are 5 ducks, 5 little ducks. Something a bit bigger. Okay, maybe even higher. How about that? Can you see them now? Bunch them all together. There we go. And I found a book with the little song as well. How exciting was that? So, of course, we've got the which way up the book is. The fact that you open it this way round, which is not true in all languages, remember, and that you follow the text left to right in English. So this starts, you can count the ducks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 little ducks went swimming one day over the hills and far away. Mother duck said quack, 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 quack. Only 4 little ducks came back. So you continue, so many ducks, and then we get to, we'll get to 1. So when we get to only 1 duck, only 1 little duck came back. Oh, 1 little duck went out one day over the hills and far away. Mother duck said quack, 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 quack. None of the little ducks came back. Very sad. Sad Mother duck went out one day over the hills and far away. Mother duck said quack, 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 quack. What happened? Can you see all these ducks? And all of her 5 little ducks came back. Happy ending. I like stories with a happy ending. There they are, all tucked up in bed. But this is lovely because it's a story, it's a song, it's a rhyme, and put some props with it, and you're away. Okay, and we've done rhyming stories. Room on the Broom, Harry McClary, a lovely Gruffalo. And I'm going to recommend that you look up on YouTube a man called Raffi, R-A-F-F-I. And one of his songs is Down by the Bay. All his songs are fantastic, but he sits on a stage and has an audience. So obviously he goes around theatres and big venues, and the children are just hooked on every word. And Down by the Bay is a lovely rhyming song, and he encourages the children to think of the words and to join in with the rhymes. I'll let you go look for that yourself. Unfortunately, I can't share videos with you on here. They just seem to go and they don't work. The peg on the pictures, these that I was showing you with the peg, and you can just ask what rhymes with clock. Just ask children what rhymes with, but that's not such fun as actually doing rhymes and getting them to match things themselves. Okay. Was I sharing the screen? Oh no. Getting confused between sharing and not sharing. Okay, here's the screen I'm sharing with you now. Did you take a picture of that? Remember this Florida Center for Reading Research. There's lots of activities on there, and it's a good place to go because it's all research based. The people who are doing this know what they're doing. It's a reading research center. Lots of things on the internet. I've watched some videos on phonological awareness and they're not accurate. So be careful what you read or what you share with your teachers. So what can you do? Oh, there's another one here, something else to add in. Maybe take a photograph of that as well. This is just an online rhyming game thing that you can do. And it's called roythezebra.com. It's rhyming games. And did I mention the cat with the hat? Cat with the hat, Dr. Zeus. There's rhyming games online with that as well. Okay, so rhyming expressions, phrases, the toodaloo kangaroo, see you later alligator. These are things you can do. Recite nursery rhymes, sing songs, do actions, use close, which means keep quiet when the next bit of rhyme comes, and you want the children to make the rhyme to go with the previous line where it is. Encourage them to generate rhyming words. Set up a rhyming table or a bag. We've got pictures or realia. Realia mean real things. Obviously that's not a real duck, but it's more real than a picture of a duck. The realia is better because you've got this tactile kinesthetic learning going on as well. You can touch and feel, which helps to embed learning. But pictures as well. Use everything and anything you can. Read rhyming stories, discuss the sequence, the events, what happened. Playground rhymes. If you don't go out yourself as a teacher in the playground, whoever's in charge out in the playground, get them to do skipping, clapping, and ball rhymes. Remember last week we did 1, 2, 3, a Larry, 4, 5, 6, a Larry, 7, 8, 9, a Larry, turn around and catch the ball. We did that one as well. Oops, all rhyming. Singing rhymes, songs, use instruments as well. We haven't used instruments today because really we spent quite enough time. I think we're nearly up to an hour today. So what did we do? This is the longest of the 10, absolutely, definitely, because there are so many things you can do with rhymes. Define phonological awareness. If someone asks you now, what is phonological awareness, you can tell them. It's the awareness of sounds within words, and there are 3 levels: syllables, rhymes, and phonemes. Define a rhyme. It's a poem with rhyming endings at the end of the line. What is a rhyme? It's a part of a syllable. You can divide the syllable into onset and rhyme. The rhyme is the part of the syllable that has the vowel, which we can call the nucleus, and the coda, the end, and these together make the rhyme. Identify some research to support the assertion that the ability to rhyme is an indicator of literacy success. We had Corriveau and we had Usha Goswami, also mentioned about dyslexia, and the lady Mem Sims, who wrote the quote about children learning 8 nursery rhymes. Explain how the ability to rhyme can help literacy success. We had a great long list, I don't have to take a photograph of that one, great long list of how rhymes can help. And of course they help the promotion of all the other skills that were indicators, the cognitive skills, language skills, prosody, motor skills, all of these. See how rhymes and songs can bring all this together. But you need to know, the teacher needs to know what they're doing and why they're doing it, so they can see all these skills unfolding and know that these children are well prepared for literacy learning when they come to learning about the letters and the letter sounds. We're getting nearer to that. Suggest activities. Well, I've lost count of how many activities we've done today, quite a lot. So I hope you've got some great ideas to go and do with your children. So thank you very much again for joining me today. I apologise that was rather long today. It's definitely the longest one, this one. So next week we're going to look at the third part of phonological awareness, and this is phonemic awareness. Sometimes people seem to confuse phonological, phonemic and phonics because they all start with this sound and they all have a PH when you read them. So we're going to look at phonemes next week. If you remembered, they're the smallest units of language sound, and in the English language they're around 44. We say around 44 because people have different accents and therefore they make different sounds, but the same language. So join me again next week. Thank you so much for bearing with me this week for this length of time, but I hope you've enjoyed the activities. I'm sure that was worthwhile, and thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. Please have a lovely weekend and enjoy your week. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.